Hello again, everyone. I'm Guido Grinbaum, and now we're going to continue with module number 18 of the Microcredentials course. Issuing microcredentials is not easy, and it's not the end of the road. It's the starting point for something much bigger, collaboration between universities and companies. Because a digital credential on its own has academic value, but when a company recognizes it, it gains real value in the job market. Today, we're going to see how to turn that connection into strategic agreements. Agreements that benefit both parties, the university and the world of work. Universities develop talent, companies need it. For a long time, these two worlds ran in parallel, without speaking the same language. Microcredentials are the bridge that brings them back together, and institutional agreements are the framework that makes that connection formal, sustainable, and measurable. An agreement with a company is not just a signed piece of paper, it's a pact of trust. A pact where both parties decide to work together to validate skills, develop talent, and generate impact. More and more institutions around the world are adopting this model, and those that do it well achieve something very valuable. Their credentials are recognized beyond the campus. There are many types of possible agreements, and understanding their differences is key before entering negotiations. We can group them into 5 main models. Number 1. The co-issuance of microcredentials. The university and the company issue a joint credential. For example, the University of Melbourne with Deloitte in leadership programs. 2. Corporate sponsorship. The company funds a credential program, such as the Google Career Certificates integrated with SUNY. 3. Internal certification validated academically. When the university accredits corporate programs, such as SeraFew with IBM Skill Build. Next, credentials with work placements, where on-the-job learning is formally validated. And finally, 5. Sectoral alliances, associations or business chambers that create credential standards for an entire industry. Each type has its advantages. The key is to choose the right model for each objective. For example, if the university is seeking visibility and international positioning, co-issuing with a major brand is ideal. If it is looking for funding or social impact, it can opt for corporate sponsorships or scholarship programs. The important thing is to understand that there is not just one formula, but a range of possible strategies. How do you build a successful partnership? There are 5 essential stages. First, identify the strategic partner, not just any company. Only those that share educational or social values with the institution. Second, analyze mutual needs. What does the company need? Talent, innovation, prestige. And what is the university looking for? Employability, visibility, joint projects. Third, design the program. Define public objectives, duration, format, and impact metrics. Fourth, establish governance. Who issues? Who validates? Who manages the data? And fifth, communicate together. Success is not measured only by issuance, but also by dissemination. According to the World University Industry Report 2025, co-designed programs between universities and companies increase employability by 38% and the corporate visibility of academic institutions by 55%. This means that partnerships not only benefit students, they also raise the prestige of the universities that promote them. Now, what should a good agreement include? Let's go over it as if it were a checklist. Clear objectives. What is the goal? Commitments from each party, who provides what, intellectual property, use of logos, data and materials, duration and evaluation, how long it lasts, how it is measured and when it is renewed, co-branding mechanisms, how the partnership is made visible on credentials, websites or in the press, protection of personal data, compliance with GDPR, which is key, or with local regulations. Without these elements, any agreement is incomplete. When a company sees a university proposal with these points clearly defined, it perceives professionalism, transparency, and seriousness. And that opens doors. Agreements are not won with speeches. They are won with clarity, trust, and evidence. Let's talk about benefits. Because every negotiation is built on mutual value. For the university, it gains prestige, improves the employability of its graduates, gains access to resources and scholarships, and expands its network of innovation and projects. And for the company, it reduces training costs, gains access to young and qualified talent, and improves its reputation as an employer. It obtains academic validation for its programs. Both sides win and both are strengthened. When it comes to negotiating, it's important to speak the other party's language. Academics tend to talk about pedagogy, standards, or taxonomies. Business people talk about return, impact, and results. The key is to translate educational benefits into economic or reputational value. For example, with this partnership, your company will be able to certify 1,000 employees with university recognition, positioning itself as a leader in corporate training. That has more impact than saying we're going to issue badges. Another good practice is to start with a low-risk pilot, a 3-month agreement, a single credential, a small group. This allows you to show quick results and build trust. When companies see measurable impact, the pilot turns into a permanent program. Let's look at some real-life examples. Tecnológico de Monterrey and FEMSA developed microcredentials in corporate innovation, which were later integrated into their executive training programs. The University of Melbourne signed agreements with PwC and Deloitte to issue joint global leadership badges. The University of Valencia works with local startups on credentials for sustainability and social innovation. In all cases, the common denominator is the same: collaboration and evidence. An alliance must also have a good communication plan, because if it isn't communicated, it doesn't exist. Each agreement is an opportunity to position the university as an active player in economic and social development. You have to tell it through human stories. Stories of students who got hired, employers who advanced thanks to training, communities that improved their local talent. And what obstacles usually arise? 3 always the same ones. Lack of trust, which is solved with pilots and early results, language differences, which are addressed with a joint university business committee, and third, bureaucratic delays. This can be improved with a clear roadmap and internal agreements for quick decision-making. There's something else: intellectual property. It's a sensitive issue. Who owns the materials? Who owns the credential? Can the university's logo be used on a co-issued badge? All of this must be defined from the very beginning. An MOU? Lack of clarity about authorship can lead to future conflicts. The ideal implementation flow for an agreement is very simple. Initial proposal, diagnostic meeting, MOU draft, legal review, public signing, launch of the first batch, evaluation of results after 6 months. A complete process can take between 60 and 90 days and already leaves a functioning partnership. Remember this: a good partnership is not measured by the number of achievements on the website, but by the concrete results it generates. That's why every agreement should have shared indicators: number of credentials issued, students benefited, employers involved, and published success stories. Data is the language of credibility. In Latin America, we are facing a historic opportunity. Universities need both digital and certified solutions. Universities have the knowledge and the structure. All that's left is to connect both worlds intelligently. The institutions that lead this integration will become the regional benchmark for educational innovation. In summary, signing agreements with companies is not just a commercial action, it's a transformation strategy. It's the step that turns the microcredential into a currency of real value, and it's the shortest path for university knowledge to translate into economic and social development. Remember this phrase: a microcredential is worth more when it is recognized outside the campus. The future of education lies in connections, and university business agreements are key. They are the key that opens that future. Well, thank you very much. I hope you really enjoyed this module, and I'll see you in the next one. There are still quite a few left before we finish the Microcredentials course. Thank you very much.